Okay, so in all my videos, I talk about using what you have instead of having to go out and buy new things. Oh, by the way, hi. Instead of having to go out and buy new things. I don't like wasting money and I don't like wasting materials. So I tend to use what I have around the house and I use it until I can't use it anymore, whether it's food or it's clothing or it's art supplies. So we've been talking a lot in the videos about, or I've been saying, use what you have, use what you have. Not buying fancy paper like I have here, which is this particular paper costs anywhere from $15 to $25 a pad. Instead of pushing people to go buy it, we've just been using scrap paper. We have literally been using what we have around the house. However, I've been using my fancy pens, my Faber-Castell Pitt Artist pens. My favorite ones are the brush pen, which look like this. Oops, probably can't see it against the dark. Yeah, it looks like this. It's got a little point on the end, but you can push it like a brush, so you can make swooping motions. My other favorite is medium, a medium point. But I keep saying, use what you have, use what you have. You can go to the dollar store. And so today I did. I went to the dollar store so that we're all working with the same materials. Or I'm not talking about what you can get there, but I'm actually using what you can get at the dollar store. These scissors I didn't have to get there. I had them laying around the house. This pen I didn't have to buy there. I had it laying around the house. These erasers, this one did come from the dollar store a long time ago. I dug it out of a box. It happens to be one of my favorites, but it was lost for a little while. This one did come from a drafting store or an art supply store. So this particular eraser can cost anywhere from $1 to $3 depending on where you get it. $3 is a little too much for me for an eraser, so I'm going to guess I bought it for $1.50. These glue sticks I had laying around the house. I got these at the dollar store. They're 4 for $1. I love them. These are my favorite glue sticks. This tape is fancier tape, but you can get it at the dollar store if you really need it. You can get a couple of rolls, I think, for $1. But I went there this morning to find the pens, to replace my fancy pens. So I can shut up about, I'm using my fancy pen. You use what you have. I went and got a bag of ballpoint pens, nothing fancy, ballpoint pens for $1. I got a big Sharpie for $1 and a little Sharpie for $1. They're literally called Sharpies. So there's $1, $2, $3 I spent this morning, and the rest of the stuff was just here at the house. But if you had to buy everything that we use, if you had to buy everything that you use, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe $7. But like I said, I had a number of these things just laying around. This was the most important thing for me to get, though. So there's my not fancy pen. So we're all working on the same level. We have equanimity. Equanimity. I love all things being equal. And then, of course, I've got scrap paper. Now, the only thing I don't like about Sharpies is they can, sometimes the ink, look at, I wasted paper. Oh no, what is wrong with me? I wasted a sheet of scrap paper. Sometimes the Sharpie can bleed through the paper. Sometimes it will come right through the paper. So you have to be careful about the surface that you put the paper on, because you don't want it to end up on your tabletop. It's not doing badly on that paper today, but still, just as a warning, keep that in mind. All right, what we're going to do today is we're going to finish off that Mother's Day project. Okay? This was our Mother's Day project in the last video, or Parents' Day project. This little piece, the two turtles napping and cuddling together. Now we're going to make a card to go with it. And it's hopefully, yeah, we'll get this done. This is my scrap paper from work. We're going to take 2 sheets of it and we're going to make a card that's actually going to wrap this whole guy up. Okay? And I didn't really think this all the way through because I don't do that. But let's get started. We're going to make this into a garden. The card is going to sit in a, this piece is going to sit in a garden card. When I made it for my daughter-in-law last year, I had a big piece of paper like this, and I cut out, garden shapes, but we don't have it. We're not going to do that. We're going to keep this as simple as possible. In the last video, we started off with, we made some very simple flowers, and so we're going to repeat that idea here. Ready? Again, I didn't think this through. I just kind of do things. So we're going to make a circle. And then we're going to do squiggly around it, squiggly circles, and that's where the petals of the flower would be. Make another circle. And just kind of pace them out. Don't worry too much about where they go or what shape they take. Just kind of pace them out. We're going to make a number of different pretend flowers. So I really don't want you panicking over this. Okay? I just want you to draw. Let your pen go. Now if you watch me, I'm really not paying attention. I'm not making sure the lines meet up perfectly. I'm not making sure that every little petal is there. I quite frankly don't care. So it's a circle, because the beauty in our flowers, as in us, is in our imperfections. Circle, squiggly lines. I don't care how many petals, I don't care how many points on your squiggly line you make. Don't care. I just want you to work. That's all I want. Just doing. Just doing. I think. Yep, I think that's enough for me. See how they're spread out? Okay. I'm going to grab the other piece of paper. I'm going to do the same thing. Circle. Squiggly lines. Now if you watch me with the Sharpie, I'm doing the same thing I do with my brush pen. I'm not drawing like this. I'm drawing it on the side. So my lines are really uneven. They're thick in some places and thin in others because I'm laying the pen on the side. That's the kind of thing I like. It's a little messy. It doesn't look perfect. Zero interest in perfect. So what I want is to see, I want the artist, the person drawing this, to have their personality show through, not somebody else's. There are some artists that like to copy. They like to copy other people's ideas, other people's styles. And that makes me mad. So put yourself into the drawing the flowers. Just relax. Use the side of the pen. Use the top of the pen if you want to. Roll it around a little bit. See? I'm going to put one there because I got a big blank space right there. Yep. Okay. That's going to be it for me, I think, on those particular type of flowers. Flower stems. Now this is a pretend garden, so the flowers don't have to grow in a row. They can be floppity, they can come in different directions. Maybe the flowers are growing on a vine or on a bush. Doesn't matter. There's the stems. I'm going to do the same thing over here. I do this line the same way, where sometimes the pen is on the point a little bit, sometimes it's on the line, on the side, on the point or on the side. Just got to play with it and see what happens. And not worry. Okay. There's my stems. Super easy. But we're also going to draw, I think, let me see. I was going to have you do roses, but I can't remember how I draw my roses. So we're going to stick with this idea. And we're going to draw some little buds. And I'll show you how I draw my buds. 2 lines like that. Squiggly. It almost looks like a tooth. 2 lines, curvy lines down, squiggly at the top, line across. Because that's where the bees would go in, is in that opening. So I'm going to do another one, 2 lines like that. Little squiggly, a little line. Not really what I wanted to do, but it's okay. That one I didn't give the bees a little line to go into. Those look funny. Those look really silly. Let's see. Yeah, okay. You know what? I think we're going to do a squiggly line on top first. And it's okay. I know I changed direction, but it's fine. Okay. It's not about perfection, just about doing. Yeah, those do look like teeth now compared to the new ones I just made, but it's okay. Squiggly line, line, line. Squiggly line, line, line. Squiggly line, line, line. That's it. Oh, I forgot this little flower over here. Squiggly line. So if you noticed, I have above, I'll have a bud down below, I'll have a bud up above. Put them in different places. Okay, squiggly line, line, line. Ooh, gotta be careful. I think I'm going to put one of the newer ones over here. There. Yeah. And those were the first ones where I told you to put the line so the bee could get in, but I just added one of the newer ones. Just squiggly line, line, line. And then those won't stand out quite so much. That was my mistake. I apologize. Like I said, I didn't really think this all the way through. I'm just doing it. Okay, so we've got buds on one page. Let's do buds on another. Squiggly line. Squiggly line. See? See? What are we doing? Okay, squiggly line. Squiggly line. Squiggly line. I've been giving each of them 2, but you can give them 3, you can give them 1. Giving each flower, rather, 2 buds. 2 buds. You can do what you like. Squiggly line, 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 squiggly line. Okay, everybody's got one? Everybody's got a couple. Okay, I think I'm going to make, let's see, what do we want to do? We're going to give our little trumpets, our little buds, I think a leaf, a couple of leaves, just like that. So it's curved line, curved line, curved line, curved line. Okay? Just like that. Curvy line, curvy line, curvy line, curvy line. Just like that. Curvy line, curvy line, curvy line, curvy line. Curvy line, curvy line. Just like that. Okay, we're going to continue on doing the curvy line leaves. Just like that. It's just 2 very simple lines. That's it. Curvy, curvy. Curvy, curvy, just like that. They can be fatter if you like. They can be thinner. I'll put that way up there. They can be anything you like. These are pretend flowers. They don't exist. We're making them up as we go along. I'm making up mine, you're making up yours. Just 2 lines. Curvy line, curvy line. Curvy line, curvy line. Curvy line, curvy line. Everybody get, oh, there we go. Found a couple. Okay, get that sheet done. Now we're going to come over to this one. Same thing. Curvy line, curvy line, curvy line, curvy line. Just 1, 2 lines. I'm trimming myself. Oh, sorry about that. 1, 2. 1, 2. Look at how I don't have my pen straight up and down. It's just slightly to the side. So my lines can be a little bit thicker there, a little bit thinner there. Curvy line, curvy line. Okay. Curvy line, curvy line, curvy line, curvy. I want you to see something. Those were the ones I said make the line so the bees could go in the flowers. Look at, they blend in now. They kind of stuck out there for a while because they didn't feel quite right. But they're going to blend in. No one will notice. Curvy line, curvy line. Okay. Now we're going to take our little pen and we're going to make lines in the leaves. And remember, there's nothing fancy going on. It's just, let's see, it's just lines. It's just lines. We do want them going in different directions though, so I'm going to keep turning the page a little bit. Notice how fast I'm doing it. I'm not thinking. I'm just doing. And sometimes the lines I go outside the lines, and it's okay. Again, it makes it interesting. It makes it mine. Makes it more human. I know some people like to do things on the computer because they think it looks perfect. It doesn't interest me. I like things that feel like people did them. I like things that make it feel like artists did them. Lines, lines, lines. Now actually, the sleeve I made, or the card that I made, that I sent to my daughter-in-law last year, the one that this slid into, was actually took a lot of time. It took several, actually, I think it took about 8 hours or 10 hours. So we're not going to do that. We're going to do this one pretty simple. It'll still be pretty. You can color it in. But we're not going to make it as elaborate as I made hers last year. So there we go. All those leaves have lines in them now, so they look more defined. Now I'm pulling out my second page, doing the same thing. And I'm not having the problems with the Sharpies. I thought they would bleed through, but they're not bleeding through. They're doing fine. So I'm putting my lines in again in different directions. And there's no right or wrong way that they can go. The lines can go outside the two curvy lines that we made. Doesn't matter. It's all okay. Are uneven. They don't make sense. And it's okay. You just relax. And draw. That's all. Relax and draw those lines in. Now I am almost done. And I think what I'm going to do is put lines in the centers of, yeah, I think I'm going to put lines in the center of all the flowers. Once again, lines are going in all different directions. But look how it changed. It gave the flowers, there we are before the lines, there we are after. It looks a little bit more finished. So I'm just putting the lines in the centers. Not making them black, although you can. Just putting lines in. Now the other thing they had at the dollar store that I did not get were colored pencils. So instead of having to use watercolors, which can make ordinary paper wrinkle, or magic markers, which can sometimes make a mess, you can get colored pencils. Yeah, I don't have any here now, but if you want to color this, you can. That would be my suggestion. All right, so we just filled in all the flowers. Now we're going to think, what are we going to do next? You know what? I think we're going to draw berries on a branch. I was going to do daffodils and all this stuff, but I think it's just going to get too complicated. So we're going to draw a line like that, a line coming off of it like that, and maybe another line like that. We'll do the same thing somewhere else. Line, one line. Just need two lines, maybe. I'll put a third one in. Line, another line, another line, curvy line, curvy line, curvy line, curvy line, curvy line, curvy line. Yep, think that's good. I filled up enough space there. We're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to start drawing branches. 1, 2, 3. They look kind of like birds' feet. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Need any more? Put another one over there, just in case. All right, so we're going to put away that fat pen that we were just using to draw the branches. We're going to grab our skinny pen, and we're just going to start drawing circles. These are berries on the branch. They don't have to be perfect circles. They can be big, they can be small, just circles. I like one on the end. They can be away from the branch a little bit. They can be right on top of the branch. They can be wherever you want to put them. Yeah, just circles. I'm going to go to my next branch. Same thing. Circle, 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 circle. Okay. See how that is? So easy. Let me just add an extra circle. Circle. A lot of circles. Circles. Let's see. Do I have extra ones? Nope. Okay, back to the other sheet. Circle, 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 circle. Getting sleepy. I want to take a nap. It's too sunny out. It's too nice for naps. Guess I gotta take Bugsy for a walk. Little Bugsy's gotta go potty. Okay. Still going on. Circle, circle, circles. See how got them in different sizes and sometimes in different places? Just makes the drawing more interesting. Those circles just circled each other. My neighbor Kirby came over just as I was about to turn on the camera a little while ago. Knocked on my door because he had tomatoes. He had fresh grown tomatoes for me, which is very nice. The other night they brought me American chop suey. So I went and got him some ground turkey meat and some other things. I like having good neighbors. I don't have any family around, so it's a good thing I have neighbors. Okay, I think I'm down to my last little branch, the circles. Okay, I am all done with my branches with circles. And I think I want to add something to our flower stems, because we didn't add anything to the base of the flowers. I thought about leaves, and then I thought, yeah, it's kind of boring. So I think I'm going to put curly cues on the end. Okay? Curly cues, just like that. I'm going to do a curly cue on each one in one direction, and then come back and do the curly cue in the other direction. I think that'll be easier for my brain. So, curly cue, and notice I'm not putting the point of the pen down. Once again, I've got it laying kind of on its side. Curly cue, curly cue. Let me turn. See if this helps at all. If it makes it, no, I'm not going to be able to see. So it's a curly cue. Sorry. If I had an overhead camera, I could show you, just in case you have trouble with curly cues. I know sometimes I have a hard time understanding when people are talking. I have an easier time when I can follow them. But we're just going to do this. Ready? We'll do this slowly. We're going to come up. Curly cue. Skip that one. We'll go to this one. Up. Little curly cue. And now I think I have to change directions. So I'm going to make my curly cues in the opposite direction. For me, it's easier to start at the end. Because I'm very right-handed, meaning I write with this hand. It's like all my flowers have curly cues. All my flowers have curly cues. All their stems do. On that page. So we're going to switch back to this page now. Whoop. Q. Curly Q. There's something called a fiddlehead. And a fiddlehead is a really interesting plant where it's basically one green fuzzy curlicue. You can cook them and eat them, or you can just look at them like I like to. But that's what these lines mean to me, are fiddleheads. I've seen them out in the woods. I've also seen them in the grocery store, which is weird. Alright, I've got all my curlicues done. So now I'm going to take, just to keep things simple, I'm going to draw little boxes. Little squares. And they don't have to be perfect squares. They can be just like this. Just putting down 4 lines without thinking. 1, 2, 3, 4. No particular shape. 2, 3, 4. No particular direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're just going to be taking up space. See? They filled up space very, very quickly. I'm going to do it on the second sheet. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. See how fast I'm doing it? There's no thinking. It's just doing. Maybe I'll put one right there. A little one. 3, 4. Now I'm going to put away my big pen again and take out my little Sharpie pen. And I'm going to make more lines inside. Just like that. Doop, 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 doop. Doop, 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 doop. Doop, 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 doop. Doop, 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 doop. Doop, 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 doop. Now I'm going with the lines on the box. You can go sideways if you like. You can do whatever you want. Your drawing. Doop, 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 doop. Doop, 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 doop. Notice I'm turning the paper. So each box is different. Everything's going in a different direction. Or the lines are going in all different directions. Okay? Sheet number 2, and then we're going to put these together. I haven't quite figured out how we're going to do that yet, so bear with me. Okay, I've finished up my lines, so while you're finishing up yours, I'm going to think for just a second. I know I want to take these 2 pieces of paper and put them together. I had you make 2 of them because this is scrap paper and one side is not going to be pretty. So I had you make 2 sides. And I know we want to glue these together. We don't want to put a lot of glue on, otherwise the paper will wrinkle. And I think we're going to go right around the edges. Sorry if I'm running ahead, I apologize. But you can always stop this. Stop the video. And work at your own pace. Oh, see, I put too much glue on, it's wrinkling. That's okay, though. Once again, I like the boo-boos. I have something my grandpa made. I'm using the eraser to work out some of the wrinkles because I put too much glue down. My grandpa used to make things out of wood. He would make little animals out of wood. And he wouldn't go to the store and buy fancy wood. He would just use whatever he had. And then he'd paint on them with whatever he had. And I have one that he made, and I just love it. He used some crayon, he used some house paint. It was just whatever he had is what he used. Oh, see, I was going to have it fold into 3, which I still kind of like. Yep, I think I still like that. Or yeah, I think I like the 3s. It's just more interesting than a regular card. So I'm going to fold this piece over in no particular way. It's not right in the middle. It's kind of to the side. Watch. You just went like this. I said, that's okay. You're going to be funny. You're going to be wonky. You're going to be silly and different than other cards. I'm going to take this side and do that. Maybe I'll put a little bit of glue on the bottom. So the project we made yesterday of Max and his parent, it fits in here like a little sleeve. How cool is that? Now don't forget, once again, you can always have that option of photocopying this, of printing this. And so you can make more than one. You can photocopy each of the sheets and then put them together like that, glue them together. So glue them, well, anyway, you can photocopy them, color them, and make a project like this over and over again. So I'm gluing my 2 sides of the paper together again because it kind of came apart. There we go. Hey, look at what we made. Look at what we did. It's kind of a little card, kind of a little pocket. Whoever gets it can pull the bottom apart and like it's a present, or they can leave, you can leave it like a card. Look at it. It works like a sleeve. This is how I made Dana's. Let me see something though. Do I have another piece of paper? Do I have another piece of scrap paper? So I have an idea. Tons of this stuff. I got another pile of scrap paper in the garbage. I'm thinking like Lincoln. So that's something else we could do. Just grab, why don't we do this? Well, let's grab another piece of scrap paper. Let's fold it in half as best you can. And then fold that in half too, as best you can. So you end up with a little bit thinner strip. Now we can draw on this. We could always cut the extra paper down, but I'm just doing this quickly. We could cut this in half. We could cut a thin strip. Let's see, what do we think? I know what we think. Ready? Let's grab the scissors, and let's go over this again. We folded it in half. We folded this in half, like this. And I think what we want to do is make a funny shape. Ready? So I'm going to draw a line right there, and I hope I'm being clear. We folded the paper in half the long way, folded it in half again. We're going to unfold that piece of paper and draw a line. Okay? So ready? Here we go. We're going to take our scissors, and we're going to cut. And we're not going to worry about we're not going to worry about that pencil line we just made. We can make wavy cuts like that. Okay? Wavy cuts like that, where it's all uneven. Let's do the same thing on the bottom, so it's just as curvy and crazy as the top. You see how curvy? Can you see how curvy that is? See? Not perfect at all. We've kind of made this into a little pocket for the project we made yesterday. This is going to act kind of like a ribbon in a way. This is going to hold it together. I just thought of something else we could do, but we're running out of time. Because we could always write, "I love you" on this. Or "Happy Mother's Day." Or "Happy Birthday." You can write anything on it. But I tell you what, we're just going to take that strip of paper, because we really are running out of time. We're going to put a little bit of glue on that piece, on that side. I'm going to glue the other side down, and that's it. That's it. Look at that. Suppose we could make it tighter, but I'm not going to worry. I'm really not going to worry about it. Look at what we made. Look at what we did. And if they go to open it up, we can pull the bottom off. And then they can stand it up. Whoever you give this to can actually stand this up. We can attach this to a roll like we have with everything else. Attach it to a little paper towel roll. Roll up a piece of paper like this. Glue it to the back, and then you can have everything standing up. How much time do we have? Actually, we do have enough time to do that. So in the end, here, let's do this. In the end, we could actually do that. We'll take a piece of paper. Sorry, I know, I really didn't plan this out. That's how projects work. At least with me. At least with me, yeah. Putting some glue on there. I'm going to make like a paper towel roll almost. A toilet paper roll. That doesn't stand up well. That's all right. I want you to be a little bit more careful than me. I'm just working a little quick right now. So we can take a little paper towel roll that we just made, a paper roll we just made, put some glue on the back. attach Max and his parent. Notice this. Look at how crazy that is. It's not standing up perfectly. There we go. So in the end, you could have that. Okay, I hope that was clear. I'm going to post pictures of it online, and this end result, but also as a gift in the little sleeve. Okay, just in case that wasn't clear. All right, come on. Oh, you can't quite see it, can you? Here we go. Whoa. Here we go. Something like that. Anyway. All right. Thanks again, and we'll see you again soon. Okay? Ciao. Ciao. So cute. All right. Ciao, you guys.